all you gentlemen giving your time for our work here. So thank you. All right, let's get right at it. We've got some business today. We'll start with the approval of the minutes from the 19th of July. Those were presented. I think we were all here, so your votes are.
I didn't see anything. So I'll move we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you.
That was George and Jeff, right?
Yes.
Thank you. I just got here, so.
Again, welcome to all our visitors today. Rob, Paula, and everybody else. Lynn, you don't have any reports to hand out?
No, I do not.
All right, well, let's get into unfinished business. This has to do with the property donation at 607 East Market Street. I think we needed a little more information at the last meeting, so we tabled that. And I know one issue was the maintenance there, and so we'll go from there.
Hello, James can't be here again today, so I'll be his mouthpiece.
Thank you.
I was asked to research the adjacent property, which is 607 Market Street. It's also a vacant lot. The owners are currently listed as living there with no structure, and there is $20,000 of delinquent property taxes on that lot. So that lot would also be obtainable by the city if they chose to accept it, this donation and pursue that lot. The issue with maintenance still hasn't been quite figured out yet. It is adjacent to the park, so as far as mowing goes, they could just hop over and hit that both of those lots as well. James is still confident that that would be a suitable site for a lift station if the replacement was deemed to be necessary for the one that's 200 feet to the east.
Okay. And I think the question, part of the question was, is this a current project that we're considering, or is it more just putting ourselves in a position that if we ever need it, it would be available to us?
The latter, sir. It'd be if we needed it, we would have it available. And given the amount of property taxes out on the one property, I don't know if we're going to be able to get $20,000 back from that.
Brian, you want to come up and address those issues? Thank you.
The lift station we could relocate to that property is a lift station that's in poor condition down the street in the alley, and we have no room really to work. We have exactly the easement for the exact where that thing's set, so we don't really have room to do any improvements. It's in a bad location for us to access, so James thought of if and when we decide, I mean, at some point here in the near future, we're going to need to do something with it because it is deteriorating. We could move it and have more room to rebuild it, but that would be one option we would have.
If that did happen, would the footprint, there's no issue to the adjacent landowners? I mean, you go in there.
No, it's sitting in that alley right now.
No,
I
I'm
mean,
saying if you move it to this.
right, it would still be a similar setup. Everything would pretty much be below grade besides the control panel and the,
Not be a nuisance.
no,
They'll see it a little bit with the fence, but it won't be a,
no.
okay.
So the line probably runs through the alley, and that's
Yes.
why you're tucked up against the back
Right, and we could move it.
property line. Just
We
move
had
it.
talked, it's kind of in the middle of the alley. Originally, we had talked about seeing if we could move it to the corner where the two alleys cross and get easement from somebody. Well, we'd move it just a little bit further than that, and then we wouldn't need the easements. We'd have more room to work to get the new lift station installed.
Would it be easier to do the project if we had both those lots together?
Do we
For
need,
the size of that lift station, I think one lot, I have not looked at what those lot sizes are, but, you know, you're talking a 10 by 10 structure, and so,
Because they mentioned the other lot. If no one's paid taxes on that in 7 years at tax sale, it's surely not going to sell now. And I would think eventually that might wind up at the city anyway. They could probably, that wouldn't have to go through sheriff's sale or anything, would it, Scott? I don't think.
Well, you could make a request of the commissioners to get a commissioner's deed for it, and they could provide it to the city or some other government entity and agree to not, but that's one avenue. But I'm unaware of anybody speaking with the commissioners about that property.
I'm just trying to be practical about this. You know, we got a lift station that right now is working on a 10-by-10 strip that I think we own. It looks like it's carved out
I
in
think
that.
I thought it was an easement, but maybe we do own it.
And taking over one or two properties that are unimproved would burden the city from a maintenance standpoint of having to mow. And, you know, what benefit does that provide now? Probably nothing right now. It does sound like, though, it could be an issue in the future. Could we work around the space constraints that we're on right now?
Brian, is it worth your mowing crew would go over there and do that, so we would have access to this tomorrow or 10 years from now? Or what's your suggestion?
I don't know. I had very limited conversation with James right before this meeting on this. I was absent from the last Board of Works meeting. So it makes it putting a lift station there easier, probably easier for us to maintain. How soon is that going to happen? I can't answer that. It's not a project we're necessarily working on currently, but we know we have one that is going to need some work in the future. He was just saying that it's a property that could be used for that if that's. We have other options certainly we could pursue. Because when we were talking about it, we weren't looking at these properties as saying, let's see if we can acquire these vacant lots, but it would definitely give us a point that we wouldn't have to try to secure more easements or anything like that. We could put it on the city property,
Right.
so. As far as mowing, we do have somebody that goes out and mows all our lift stations. We could do it. I don't know if, I heard him mention maybe the Parks Department, because they're right there too. I don't know if Larry has been talked to about that, or.
Larry's out today.
Okay, oh, that's right, I remember. So I don't know. I mean, there's crews that could mow it. The street department has crews that go around and mow various areas
Right.
also, so.
Hey,
Hi-
who's back at us?
hi-
Move over a little bit.
Hi, Dustin. How you doing? But glad you're here, buddy. Yeah, you show up. There you go. Welcome.
I'm a little bit hesitant, to be honest with you. And I wouldn't want to hamstring the city in the future. But taking over property that is not buildable, that we are going to get stuck with the maintenance for a potential benefit. But I guess I'm not convinced we couldn't work around the area we're in right now. Leaves me a little bit hesitant. And I'll just add a little note. I pulled out the Kosciuszko County Historical Society a couple issues ago. They referenced that area there, and that's where the canal went through when off of Eagle Creek. And you know the problems with the soil
Yeah.
over there, and it's low. And that's just, that property's been like that forever.
Needs, wants, usually government does better when it's a need rather than we want something. And then also not a firm, from Brian, trusting his judgment. And then your concerns, I'd lean your direction.
I tend to understand James's concerns and requests, just to, if we have a chance to get it and we may need it.
Right.
That's fine, but I think taking a little closer look at it, I'm inclined to thank the property owner for the offer, but at this point, probably we're not interested, would be my opinion. I'd share that with this body, and however you all feel.
George, you're good at this stuff. What are you thinking?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I see your point.
Right.
I'm thinking with the other lot, it's quite a parcel there. I mean, are you sure it's not buildable? I mean, it's low, it's very low, but there's
That's a-
houses all around it.
Yeah, and that's a
But-
flooded area,
Any
flooding
rain
area.
gets wet.
It's a flooding
It's
area.
water, standing water.
The whole thing is was wetlands probably years ago, so. And not knowing what's gonna happen to the other, I got a little more excited about it when I found out that we could
Right.
probably acquire the other lot. Because after 7 or 8 years, no one paying taxes on it.
That
it's
is a-
gonna go, it's gonna pass. on
Right.
through, you know it's gonna. So, but if we don't need it for what Brian's
say-
talking about, then.
We're certainly not in a hurry, and the disposition of these lots more than likely will continue in their current status. One, not having taxes paid on it could still give us an opportunity to acquire that lot. And the way I understand it, we don't need any more than 10 by 10 to put this lift station on.
That's
So-
a big point to me, that I was
Yeah.
going to tell George, Joe, that's a very important point. I'm now hearing we don't even need that second one.
It would be nice if you had a neat,
corner.
a possibility or an opportunity to develop, but it sounds to me like these two lots would be used for a 10 by 10 lift station, give us a little more room, and I feel like potentially they could still be eligible if the donor down the road would consider his offer, or if the other property did come available, I think we'd have an opportunity that way too, so. I know our guys work hard when it comes to mowing and maintenance, and just to add another couple lots in a low area, I guess I'm not excited about taking it over.
I can see that.
One thing I just want to make sure everybody's clear about is in Ms. Buskirk's letter, she referenced 207 East Market Street. I think that was just a Scrivener's error on her part, because Lot 17 of the Isaac Miller edition does match up to 607 East Market Street, which is what we've been discussing this morning. But I just wanted to clear up for everybody that in her letter, she referenced the property, it's known as 207, but according to everything online, Beacon, everything else, Lot 17 of Isaac Miller is at 607 East Market Street, and it does list the Patricia Buskirk Trust as the owner of that property.
Okay. So, are you ready to take action?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, not hearing a strong need for it, and then concerns and reservations, and a good point, burden, and the other property not needed, what I'm hearing from Brian. I'll move to not accept the offer.
I'll second that.
All right. Any further discussions? Anything else we need to consider? Okay. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Thank you. I appreciate your diligence. And thanks for your help this morning. Appreciate it. All right. Let's move into new business. We got a street closure request for 9/11. It's next month, the Kettleheads. Rob, you want to give us the lowdown here?
Sure. Lowdown is this. We want to do a Taste of Kosciuszko and the Kettleheads Brew Fest in downtown Warsaw. So, as you know, Mayor, we have the anchors that go along Buffalo Street, and we'd like to use a tent on Buffalo Street for the Kettleheads. Both events will go from 4 to 8, and then we'd use Center Street for the Taste of Kosciuszko. We'll also be doing a cornhole tournament.
Great.
Be a lot of fun. And there's a lot going on that day, as you probably are well aware, with the Dillinger Raid and with the parade.
So we had a chance to look at the map yesterday. Mike Wilson, you want to come approach and just give me your opinions? I know there's events going on, quite a bit of closure with Farmers Market, moving into Kettleheads, then the parade, and then the Dillinger over on Indiana. But as we looked at the map, the timing seems to work that we won't have both Center and Main closed down at the same time for any more than the time it'll take for that parade to get through.
That's correct. We looked at that route, since the route's been changed, and they're going to go up and turn right on Main and go over to Lake and go back south. It'll work out fine. Fire trucks are going out of Station 1, can always go to the east. However, they'll be in the parade, so they'll be able to break off if there's a call. And during the rest of the time, that intersection's open for east or west traffic for the fire trucks and ambulances and law enforcement. So should work really well.
So that was our concern, and Mike has addressed that. We're really excited to have this event downtown. It's going to be fun, and I'm thankful that the Chamber and Rob and the WCDC have worked to get this downtown. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I certainly don't have any concerns now that I've heard from Chief, as long as the Fire Station 1 is accessible.
I'll move to approve the road closure.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay. All right. We've got a release of mortgage from, let's see. Is this Housing Opportunities? Yeah, it says Housing Authority. This is a Housing Opportunity.
Yeah, it should say housing opportunities.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a release of mortgage I'd like to get signed for Melody Luck at 717 Cook Street for some repairs we did in 2019 to her house through the Home of Your Own program.
So she satisfied her obligation.
Yep.
Yep.
Paid off.
Move to approve.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you very much. You need that signed?
Yeah. Stolen. Has legs on it. Uh-huh. Hey, another one.
Thank you. All right. Lynn, I think you've got a software agreement, licensing agreement with Boyce.
I do. So this is just our annual licensing for our key fund and key payroll and key assets and key direct deposit, anything key, except for maybe one thing, but the sewage collection office, that'd be a different one. So I'm just asking you that you accept the annual licensing for those software licenses.
Move to approve.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Who approved the mortgage release? I'm sorry.
I did.
Jeff?
Thank you.
All right, so I've got a couple pay-apps from the Community and Economic Development Director. I will just carry these because I know Jeremy is on vacation. These are pay-apps for the Anchorage Road project, the preliminary engineering. This will be reimbursed 80%, and the total is for $46,000, and it'll come out of redevelopment, Northern Eastern TIF, and some, it's coming out of edit again, but will be reimbursed 80% back to edit. Justin, anything to add to that? I mean, the work's been done, it's just a pay app.
No, not really.
Okay. Okay, I appreciate you pinch hitting here, just, but it's pretty straightforward pay app.
I'll move to approve the payout.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, and it appears we've got a similar, this is just an amendment for $5,494. This is for engineering for property acquisition right away. Is this for construction easement, or is this for actual right-of-way that the improvements will go on?
Yeah, and I'm less familiar with this project than the sidewalk project, but my understanding is that this would be for easement that's needed for the actual construction of the roadway. So they'd be
Okay.
doing expansion, moving utilities. There's a lot of utilities that have to be moved through that corridor. There were easements that, just like the sidewalk project, made the project unable to be aligned the way it needed to be aligned. So we would need that to build it.
And as a reminder, this contract has been approved for right-of-way. This is just an amendment because I think, as Justin mentioned, it's a little bit more complicated with utilities. So the extra $5,494 is what we're considering here. Questions?
No, I'll move to approve that.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. So, Mike, Chief, you ready to present the K-21 Health Foundation grant agreement?
This was originally brought to you after a territory board meeting to apply to K-21 for them to finance the warranties on the auto pulses that are spread throughout all the county fire departments. EMS Chief Chris Vance will sit down with them in a meeting and discussed and explained how the warranties for 3 years, there's an extended warranty program, was going to work. K-21, after some discussion, chose to approve a grant to change what the process of the grant's going to be. So what we're coming to, we took to the territory board, and Chris explained it to the territory board. They chose to set aside $30,000 grant instead of the more expensive 3-year warranty grant to cover the same thing that the warranties was going to do. So it was a little bit more of a cost savings at K-21 Foundation. And what we're coming to you today is to ask permission to go ahead and receive that grant. And Chris Fansel will be the individual associated between the fire department and Zoll to get the items that are needed for repair to the auto pulses. And as chief, I have no problem with Chris doing that because he was instrumental in bringing that program to the county. The funds, once the batteries or the parts or the board's been replaced or repaired, and that invoice comes into Chris's mailbox, it'll go straight to K-21 Foundation, and they will pay Zoll, the vendor, direct. So the funds won't actually pass through us here at the city or the Fire Territory Board because K-21, they want to pay that direct to them. There was a question in reference to what if the $30,000 is shorter than the 3 years. And even after Territory Board, I had a conversation with Chris, and he felt that during that meeting with K-21, because they were the sponsors to purchasing those auto pulse boards, that they were very much in favor of not speaking for them. They want to see this program continue, so I don't think you'll ever have a problem going back.
This is these boards have they've been life-saving, and it's they've been demonstrated. If they roll up, somebody needs to have chest compressions. This does it automatically, and it continues it. It's life-saving. It's a great program. So the issue was the batteries on these boards, the warranty on these boards. They went to K-21 and asked if they would pay for the warranty for how many of these?
Well, there's 15 departments carrying them, and so I think we have a total of 18 boards in the county.
18 boards. The cost for the warranty, so the warranty take care of the battery or anything like that for 3 years. What was the total cost? $70,000?
A little over $70,000.
So what I understand is K-21 said, let us self-fund this warranty program. We will act as the warranty program. We'll put a pool of $30,000 instead of paying $70,000 to the company to execute the warranty. We will pay $30,000. So if there is, and we won't have a warranty, but we will self-fund any replacements or repairs in lieu of that warranty. So K-21 is taking the risk that they consider a better proposition than paying full price for the warranties, is what it's boiling down to. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
They're self-funding it.
Yeah. Unanimous vote on the fire territory?
Yes, it was.
I move to approve.
I'll second that.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Again, a big thank you to Chris and you and that whole program, but most importantly, K-21. I know they were involved in the purchase of these boards.
Yes, they
And
were.
they're certainly a strong advocate for this program, and they've shown it again, and we certainly thank K-21 for that.
Yes.
All right. The next is the lease renewal with EMS for Station 3. You want to give a little background to that, Mike, and then explain where we're at?
When we designed and started building Station 3, we wanted an ambulance in that facility. We went in a lease agreement of the area where the ambulance parks, plus the 2 bedrooms and bathroom facilities is a part of the lease. However, they use the whole building. It's a family team down there with Lutheran EMS and our firefighting guys. So this is just a continuation of the original lease. There is an addendum to it. It's a corporate lease that's done, and it always includes housekeeping. The only thing that was changed to the lease is that they do their own housekeeping. We still supply all the supplies because we want the same chemicals used inside the building. It's the only thing that was really changed to it. Same dollar amount. It's another 3-year lease.
So basically, when we designed that station, we set aside a bay and a couple bedrooms for them being located down there, which we thought was a big advantage. And because of the construction of that new fire station, it offered a perfect opportunity to partner with whoever the ambulance provider is. And in this case, it's Lutheran, and we have, what, a 3-year lease initially?
Yes,
So
3 years.
We're just back for the next 3 years.
$750 a month for 3 years.
Yes, sir.
I move to approve.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, Mike. Jennifer, you got a grant from Indiana Cancer Consortium to start with?
Right. Actually, I'd like to kind of change that, not only to receive it, but also permission to apply for it. Lynn was gracious enough to remind me that we needed to do that. One of the reasons why I didn't present that at first is I just found out in July, at the end of July, that we would be able to use these funds for education and purposes at the fire department for cancer education when they're out working in their profession. And we were unsure if that was going to be a go, but I was told that we can. So I would like permission to apply for the grant and then also to receive that.
So we'll take that under consideration first, the permission to apply for the grant.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? How much was the grant?
Just $1,000
All right.
for educational material.
I knew that, I just wanted on for the record.
Oh,
All right.
very good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right.
Then just permission.
Surprise, we've received the grant?
Yes.
We-
May
we-
I receive the grant now, please, to use that for educational
This is basically
materials?
to accept now the grant, the
To
$1,000.
accept it. So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Travel requests?
Yes, we do have 2 from the fire department, but the majority of it is from wastewater.
Brian, will you quickly speak to that conference and the importance of that conference? Because it looks like you're taking a good,
Everybody.
I hope they're not all going to be gone at once.
It's a 3-day annual conference. It's our member association for the Water Environment Federation, which is a local Indiana Water Environment Association. So they have 3 days of classes. They have a big vendor hall where you can kind of see new items that are coming down and see pumps and whatever, get the latest updates, and then, just the chance to interact with.
Are any of your
other-
operators required to have continuing education?
Yes, everybody that has a license is required to have the continuing education.
And they'll be able to get it over
They
here?
get it over there, they can get a lot of it over there.
Great.
So Fort Wayne, no overnight travel.
Well, we're requesting overnight travel for some of us because we're there every day, and there's stuff that goes into the evening. There's award ceremonies and that kind of stuff. So we were requesting, I know it's like 47 miles or something, and I know 50 miles is the cutoff. So we were requesting overnight for this.
We've made the exception before in Fort Wayne because of the evening sessions. I think I would support that.
Okay. I'll move to approve the travel request.
Second.
Any further discussions?
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thanks, Brian. All right, and wage hire update?
Yes. We do have some changing around. We have some new hires and replacements. One thing that is not on your list is I would like to add a new employee, just got some testing results back for Brandon Newcomer. If we could add that to it also, maintenance technician, wastewater, full-time. He worked for us before. He is coming back to us. He's already trained, ready to go. It's $18 an hour. So if we could add that as, too.
I see we are also hiring a probationary police
You are
officer.
correct, yep. Yes, we have a new police officer coming on board. He was actually part of our process several months ago, but it takes a little bit of time to get through that with the pension testing, the psych, and the medical. And he will start on Monday.
Great.
Monday.
One of those days.
Yeah. I will meet with him on Monday.
All right.
I move to approve all of the requests, including the one added by Jennifer.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Right, and just, and if I can just
Those
add.
opposed?
Stephanie Schaefer is here in the audience. Got to point you out. She is going to be replacing, I don't know if you want to talk about it when you come up, Sheila, but Sheila is leaving us. She has been our activities director for several years, done a fantastic job. And Stephanie has been with the city kind of as that second in command, and we've done Larry and they have done very well doing that procession, so.
All right. Well, Sheila, is this your last visit to the podium at the Board of Works?
This is my last official visit as Recreation Director to Board of Works meetings.
You can carve your initials in the podium.
Oh, no. Moving on to new challenge. I'm excited about that. Stephanie's going to do an amazing job. She's been my right hand for 3 years. She's been with the city as a whole in a seasonal capacity for 11 years before that. So she's got the experience and she's going to be amazing. We're leaving her in a really good place. So
Great.
we've been doing a lot of training, hardcore, throwing her right in. So
I never doubted that you would be right there in the training. And thank you so much for your service and for making that transition smoother. And certainly best wishes to your next chapter.
thank you.
Are you going to be local or?
I am, yeah, staying in Warsaw.
Oh, good.
Good.
All right. So you can still come to the family carnival.
Absolutely.
You can
Absolutely.
still come to the Board of Works.
I'll come and I'll visit. How's that?
Thank you. All right, let's get down to business, Sheila.
Okay. So first thing on the agenda for me is Light Up the Night Santa contract. This is with our same Santa that we've used for many, many years. We also use him on this night. He rides in the parade from downtown in the Twinkle Parade for Paula, and then comes down and they drop him off at the pavilion to greet the children for a couple hours down there. So this is the same pay that they've got. He's $100 an hour. So same pay rate. And just as a reminder, we do like to keep his name and keep the magic with Christmas and Santa, and please be cautious
Mindful
of that.
Thank you. I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
Wasn't Light Up the Night a different program? Wasn't that cancer walk as well, that same name?
Well, that I don't know. We've
just-
done Light Up the Night for many years, even back when Stacy
Is
was
that
here.
what it was called?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't want it to get confused with that because when I first saw it,
Oh. That, I'm not sure about the walk,
yeah.
but I
okay.
know that we've had this
Just clarifying
named
that this
way.
is
This is a
our
park activity.
city celebration park
Yes.
activity for Christmas.
Yes,
Got
first
it.
lighting of the lights.
Yep.
Yes,
Didn't want that to get mixed up.
correct.
All right.
I'll move we approve the contract.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, and the second part of that is for.
Second one, yep, with Mellow Productions. Twister Mike comes and he does an amazing job. He's going to bring 2 other twisters with him for the Light Up the Night event. Santa and the balloon twisters and potentially another contractor, we'll see what we can find in the meantime, come and they do their stuff inside. And then we have the school performers and the first lighting, and then glow necklaces outside. So we have 2 parts to this event. It's both inside and outside. So this is part of the inside entertainment. So that is 3 twisters for 3 hours each for that cost.
All right.
Move to approve.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we'll go to the acceptance of the Indiana Arts Commission
I
grant.
do have a grant acceptance, but apparently there's something in the water because like Jennifer, I missed getting approval to apply for this grant. This is a grant that we apply for every year,
Right.
and somehow I missed getting that in front of you guys before I applied. So I would like to ask permission to apply for the Indiana Arts Commission grant for the fiscal year 2022, which supports the summer concert series.
Perfect. Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Thank you. And then this, we have received, or we have been awarded this grant. It's for $4,050, which is the exact same amount that we got for the fiscal year 2021 grant. This is a grant where we get 75% upfront, and then at the conclusion of the series, we get the last 25%. There's really nothing different to the grant than we've ever had in the past. This is an annual grant that we applied for.
And we appreciate that. I know
Absolutely.
during COVID last year, when a lot of things were not happening, that was one thing that
Yes,
continued.
we still got it
You guys
done.
did a great job with that.
Absolutely.
And the support by the Indiana Arts Commission has been consistent and very much appreciated.
I move to accept.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Been great working with you.
All right. Justin, you're up. Buffalo Street, change order number 7.
Yeah, so this is change order number 7 for the Buffalo Street Plaza project, and that's with Selge Engineering, or the construction. They've been doing the work over there. A little explanation about this change order. There has been iron deposits that have been building up around the new water feature. The filtration system that was put on the system was installed to spec. The manufacturer's specifications were followed. It is reducing that iron content. However, it's not sufficient enough to remove enough iron to where there isn't staining. So we had them circle back around, reinvestigate what would be needed to further reduce the iron deposits that we were seeing on the concrete and improve the look of the fountain and reduce the need for ongoing maintenance from the Parks Department. So this is the result of that. So that this change order would be to cover the installation of that secondary filtration system to reduce that iron down further. So with that, I will open it up to any questions you might have about that.
No, I'm satisfied with that explanation. I talked about that and got the information that this is just an additional filter that should limit that iron deposit, and it certainly has been a little bit unpleasant to see that on that beautiful feature down there. So we're thankful that Structure Point and Selge are responding. George, I'm sure you're aware of iron in the water.
Yes, I'm surprised they didn't cover that on the initial, if they,
And they did investigate with that initial filter. Generally, those things, it would reduce it enough. But something about when the iron particulates, and you might know more about this than I do, but when the iron particulates hit the air, they become larger, and it just causes that iron to deposit more on the sidewalk. So they're missed by the initial filtration. So there is one more feature that could be added if this secondary filter has residual iron. There's an oxidation process or chemical that could be added, but we're trying to do more of a passive system so that we take out that ongoing maintenance element of it. So,
and our water's uniquely
Yeah.
hard, it's worse than Fort Wayne, city water and well water, so.
And I know there was enough room to add that filter. That was my concern,
Yeah.
that the design wouldn't have allowed an additional filter, but it indeed
That
does,
shame.
and that's helpful. So,
See staining.
all right,
I'll move to approve.
Second.
further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And Justin, you've got a pay app?
no worries. So this is pay app for the 14, and this would be without considering the change order we just did. This would have been technically the final pay app. It includes that retainage fee. that we had for the entire plaza project, but now since we've added that change order and it's been approved, we'll have a little bit more left on that contract. But this is a pay app 14 for the Buffalo Street Plaza project in the amount of $117,000, $425.57. So
It just reminded me, with the retainage coming back, it's being returned. And I know the art feature is not a part of this, but I know there were some panels that had cracked. Is there an update on the replacement of those panels?
So the update on the art feature, we're waiting on one final panel. There were a few that cracked during installation. So we had the artist, they're manufactured in Germany. He ordered the replacement panels. He's really great to work with. He's been very responsive, but everything takes a little bit longer these days. So
Okay.
with that installation and the cracking that happened, we've just been replacing those panels as needed. So there's one more panel that remains. So that contract should be closing as well soon, once we get that last panel in.
All right, thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, back to this. Is there any questions?
Mayor, on the second page, 2.5 million, is that right, the original contract?
Yes.
And the total is at 2.1?
Yeah,
So
and
it's
that,
about a 400,000, so even with all these change or everything else, it's, that was a red flag for me this morning. I was gonna mention it on the last one I saw it, but.
and
is
that initial contract amount, that included the preliminary shelter design.
Okay.
So when we took out that shelter, because we wanted to
That
reduce the
dropped it.
cost, that dropped it back down. And then
Okay,
we had some
I remember.
additional change orders that.
Yeah. And if you
all.
remember, the vast majority of this is funded by the regional cities grant.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, you're right, that's a good point.
Yeah, I just-
There
I
was a
just saw
concern
that.
with the cost of that shelter. All right, is there a motion to do something?
I move to approve.
All right?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Thanks, Justin. Chief, request permission to apply for a PEP grant. Thank you for,
Some of us know the rules. Although I thought I found a new way to go about business. It seems to work out easier. So the police department's requesting permission to apply for the 2022 IPEP Safety Grant Program. The expiration or the deadline for this is October 1st, 2021. And I did find that this amount could be, there's really no maximum, but it's typically anywhere from a few hundred to in excess of 20,000. And it's an 80-20 matching grant.
all right. Questions?
No, I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for applying, asking us
Yeah,
if you're
thanks for
willing to
doing the
apply for a
correct
grant. Dustin, how are you?
Doing well, thank you, sir.
Good.
First up, we have a permission to move into a contract with BS Engineering. This is a contract that spells out putting both Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the Hodges Addition project into 30% drawings and also preparing the paperwork to apply for the Community Crossings Grant, which will be done in January. What we're looking at doing is applying for both Phase 2 and Phase 3 as separate projects. And whether or not we get one, both, or none, we'll evaluate what direction we're gonna go at that point. So this is just to get things up to a 30%, drawings and as well as the Community Crossings application all prepared.
Questions?
No, I really appreciate you guys looking this direction. You know, a year ago, Dustin, you came in and it's now finished up there in Hodges. It's absolutely beautiful over there. And I would argue not only reconstruction, but the right look after reconstruction for really all residents in the entire city. And I know it's always easier said than done, but my point is that first phase needed and just really nice for that neighborhood. And I'm looking forward to getting some traction here in the future to finish the entire addition. So thank you. With that, I'd move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thanks, Dustin. Next is a permission to extend your microsurfacing and crack sealing.
Yeah, this is both for microseal and crack seal. Pavement Solutions, was bid out back in 2017. They've kept the same price. We've used them every year. They keep extending their price. This is probably the last year for it as everything's going up. But this is just an extension of the original contract, for another year. We've done the same thing in 18, 19, 20.
All right.
Move to approve.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. And permission to purchase a 2021 rear-load garbage truck.
Yeah, and this is something that was actually in our budgets for next year. However, with the microchip issue or computer chip issue with new trucks, no matter if it's a pickup truck or a large dump truck, there's just nothing available. So right now, the money that we had set aside for purchasing big plow trucks and new trucks, we're asking permission just to transfer and go ahead, and this garbage truck is available at the next Board of Works when the docket's approved to purchase. If you guys approve this, it's ready now. So we can take ownership of this, and then next year, obviously, we'll go after our plow trucks instead of buying a garbage truck. So it's kind of get what you can and when it's available right now. And it's really tough to find much of anything.
And just as a reminder, this did go through Sourcewell, which is the national clearinghouse, if you will, making sure that it meets our bidding requirements.
Yeah, this is a time when you have to seize the moment on certain vehicles, and so I'll move to approve this.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Thank you, Dustin. Appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you.
Looks like the Indiana Center Street, they're pouring the last bit of concrete this morning, so
Yes, hopefully that will be up, probably early next week. I doubt they're going to open the sidewalks with the fresh concrete today, so it'll probably be Monday when they open
Okay.
things up. But, and then we'll get started on Lake Street next, so.
great. They've done a great job. Thank you. All right, Brian, this is a pay application number 111.
111th one.
That's a big project.
This is for Westler for construction oversight.
All right.
Pretty much
I don't
what
think you
we
need
see.
to explain after 111 pay applications. Any questions?
No, I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Well, here's 112.
Yeah.
This would actually
This is
be
for the
for construction.
contractor.
Only for 200,000. What's he do over there all day? What's going on?
I'm up.
I move to approve this request as well.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, item 22.
I will say on the construction, we are right there at the end. We're really pushing the contractor to give us a plan to get out of there. They're having a couple subs that don't want to, a couple subs that need to come in and do half a day's worth of work, and they're struggling getting them in. So we're really starting to push on them a little bit, trying to actually get them out of there. So we're close.
So is this all within the scope of the expansion project?
Yes.
Where's the lift station?
Oh, no, this next
next.
is a different,
It's not
this
that.
200 is a different project. Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah, this is-
looked down one too many.
Yeah.
All right, got it. Okay, questions?
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Yeah, I saw that, and I couldn't figure out where the lift station was on the plan expansion, but you're right, that's item 22.
So this is an area, Jeremy had approached myself, and James has been involved, 200 South, west of the current, what's the name of that subdivision?
Park Ridge.
Park Ridge, yes, Park Ridge. the railroad track and then on to 15 and then even west of 15. There's some interest to develop still on both sides of the railroad track right there, but then there's potential to develop quite a bit around there. So we're looking at the best way to service that area with a sewer system to support and promote that development. And that's what this is, an engineering contract to look at that and develop a collection system in that area.
So this is a part of our commitment to meet the housing issues that are in our community, and expanding and extending the sewer with the lift station construction. And Park Ridge is an immediate investment by the city to allow that more opportunity for single-family workforce housing to develop sooner than later. And the lift station has been an important part of that discussion. And as we got to looking, as Brian mentioned, there's other potential area that could be annexed and developed in that area, and it would be probably short-sighted to just try and service that original area. So and I think this is a really critical project, and appreciate the foresight of Building and Plan, Community Development, and Community and Economic Development Director, and yourself and the engineer to work through this. So this will give us some great opportunity to expand housing down south.
I'll move to approve the contract or the
So this would be the engineering of that
engineering. Yeah.
lift station.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we do have one special claim that Lynn has presented. This would be check to the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. This is coming from the HR, the wellness budget. We're taking, I think, 200 and how many to the game?
225 tickets have been asked for, requested for city employees, their family members, as a wellness promotion. It's by far the #1 program that we've put on to date. So through the AIM Medical Wellness funding, if you will, we were able to do this for our employees, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, it took off, and thanks to Jennifer for promoting that. It's a big one.
We
So-
did that the other day for our stores, and we had like 30 or 40 there. And
Yeah.
it was, they had a ball. It was
Yeah,
good.
it's just hard to find that niche, I guess, for all employees to
likes.
really,
Yeah.
but we're finding that they want to spend time with their families, and this is a perfect way to do it, so thank you.
Thank you.
Good cost. I'll move we approve the special claim.
All right, any further discussion?
Yeah, that's good.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And finally, the claims docket, there are 3 of them, as you're aware. Any comments or questions before I ask for approval of those?
I didn't see anything, Jeff. Any questions? So I'll move to accept the claims dockets as presented.
All right,
Since you didn't.
further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any other items to be carried forward? All right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. All right.
Hey, thanks for all you've done.